Welcome to RVP Locker Room to kick off the month of May. I can tell you this RVP Locker Room is a game changer. Let me tell you why. First of all, we're coming to you on a Saturday. That creates an incredible sense of urgency. See, normally we'd wait till Monday or Tuesday next week, but what we've got to share with you today is so important, you need to hear it early. The second thing that makes it a game changer is we've invited regional vice presidents and above, as well as future RVPs. We've got the entire Primerica team in the huddle today to call an incredible play in the month of May and beyond. And the third reason is because the information and inspiration that you're going to hear on this program today is going to impact your business for decades to come. We've got announcements, we've got improvements, we've got recognition, and I'm telling you, you need to be listening with an open mind and an open heart because it'll change the way you think about your business opportunity at Primerica. As always today, I'm honored to be joined by our President, Peter Schneider, our Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer, Julie Seman, and we're going to get this kicked off with a quick update on Find Your Money April. You know, we closed the month of April just 12 hours ago, and of course the numbers aren't final, but I can already share with you where we think the month is going to come out. So listen to these numbers and you'll know where we stand as a team. Looks like April's going to come in at an incredible 35,000 recruits in the month of April. That's up 30% over last April. It's our largest April in history, except for the pandemic April back in 2020, when we had all kind of crazy incentives going on at that time. But this is the biggest April ever. What a great momentum builder for us. Congratulations on that number. Life licenses are down in April. We're at 3,700. That's down some from last April. Life apps are down at 37,000 for a little bit from last April. Remember that because I'm going to talk about the importance of growth in every area of our business. Investments, $1.4 billion of new investment sales, biggest April ever, huge increase. Congratulations to all of our leaders on putting those numbers on the scoreboard. Our mortgage business coming in at $70 million, up about 15% over last year, continuing to gain momentum in that great business. Client solutions business play a key role in the where's the money approach because a lot of people are finding money in our client solutions. Those businesses did well. And of course, the most important number of all, cash paid to the Primerica sales force in the month of April looks like it's going to come in at about $113 million, the largest April in this company's almost 50-year history, and that brings our last 12 months cash paid to the field to over $1,285 million, also an all-time record. So when you look at those numbers, you recognize there's some up and there's some down. There's some that are super strong like recruiting and our investment business and our mortgage business, and some that need focus. We're going to be talking about those during this program. But you know, that kind of production is the result of great leadership, and leadership leads to promotions. So I'm excited today to recognize the promotion to regional vice president of these 25 great leadership couples. Please study those names on the screen. If there's somebody in the room with you right now at Saturday morning training, please give them a round of applause, high five them, fist bump them, congratulate them, because these leaders have made a huge sacrifice, a huge investment to get to regional vice president. It's going to pay off for their families in the future like never before. Also coming out of April, one new senior vice president. Congratulations to Emmanuel and Timitopia Hema, newest senior vice presidents at Primerica, and also a new senior national sales director coming out of the month of April. This great couple just became $1 million earners a few weeks ago. Now they've added the senior national sales director title, which is going to take their income through the roof. Congratulations to Ressie and Lori Verdi. You know, people ask the question all the time, where's the money? At Primerica, where's the money is answered by promotions. If you want to make money, you run for your next promotion. That'll happen to you at Primerica. But then the money does come. You do find the money at Primerica, and it comes in income milestones. Now, we haven't finished all the income for the month of April. Understand, if you're new to Primerica, you're watching today, most of our compensation on the month is paid after we close out the production month over the next 7 days. So there's going to be lots more coming, but look what's already happened. Income milestones for the month of April. First, 14 new first-time $50,000 earners. At Primerica, that means they've earned $50,000 or more in the last 12 months or less. and we only recognize them the first time they do it. Congratulations to these 14 great leaders who are new $50,000 earners at Primerica. And then coming out of the month of April, already 8 new first-time $100,000 earners, and there'll probably be 8 or 12 or 16 more, but let's congratulate these first 8. They went first, so they deserve congratulations. Phil and Kayla Cunningham, Rosalor Solomon Presume, Jimmy and Andreanne Gallant, Michelle and Pierre LeMay, Angel Arredondo, Wilbur Woodside, Gail Shee, Gabriella, and Elian Molina. Congratulations to those 8 new $100,000 earners at Primerica. Then in the month of April, 8 new $200,000 earners, adding the second diamond to their ring. Congratulations to Tex and Lydia Aguilar, Reg and Lynn Stuper, Diana and Wes Shoniers, Juan Gabriel and Shalomi Lozada Flores, Ciro and Rosa Aguilar, Dave and Becky Krivsky, Kevin and Kelly Conant, and Olga Mazar, our newest $200,000 earners at Primerica. So proud of them. 4 brand new $300,000 full owners at Primerica. Such an important milestone. Congratulations to these great couples, Zachary and Nicole King, John and Jessica Leach, Val Martin and Shane Kropf, and Lance and Jen Vanberg, our newest $300,000 earners. Then we got 3 brand new $400,000 earners in so far out of the month of April. Congratulations to Hagop and Noeem Bartanian, Rob and Kristen Watchter, and Gerald and Hannah Bilker, our newest $400,000 earners. You know, I love the $500,000 level, $500,000 in personal cash flow paid to this next group of leaders in the last 12 months. That's a special place to be. Let's congratulate Cody and Laura Beckett, new $500,000 earners Mark and Karen Pohlman, and new $500,000 earners Sal and Peggy Lucido. So proud of them. Now, I want you to watch. You probably noticed there's a lot of maple leafs on a lot of these photos. That means there are Canadian leaders. Watch this run that's coming next. You're not going to believe this. 6 diamond, newest $600,000 earners at Primerica. Great Canadians Kelly and Lee Kirkpatrick. 7th diamond, $700,000 in the last 12 months. Canadians John and Wendy Haynes. 8th diamond, the $800,000 in cash flow in the last 12 months. The great Luch DiSerafino, also a Canadian. And for 4 in a row at the 13th diamond, $1.3 million in cash flow in just one of their Primerica businesses. Congratulations to the great Jim and Trish Bone. Now, you would think that would be enough to say, yes, this is a special show. We're doing something unusual today on a Saturday. We've invited everybody in. But y'all, look what's about to happen next. Since we were last together at the last RVP Locker Room, 4 new $1 million earners at Primerica. I'm so proud of these great leaders. I'm so proud to be part of a company that can have great leaders like this succeed like they do at Primerica. But let's recognize number 176 $1 million earners, Brad and Megan Stockey. Congratulations to them. They came out right at the end of last month. At number 177 $1 million earners, Alan and Dina Bajirio. So proud of Alan and Dina. At number 178, second generation $1 million earners at Primerica, the great Jason and Haley Bohannon. That's 3 that came out at the very end of last month, the beginning of April, but we just had one last week as well. Want to congratulate our newest $1 million earners at Primerica, number 179, the great Alice and Jacob Webb, the newest MDEs, $1 million in personal cash in the last 12 months from their Primerica business. So proud of them, so proud of their examples of success. And then just to round it out, even though we just recognized them for 13 diamonds on one of their businesses, look at this, $2 million in cash flow on a completely different Primerica business, making them our 43rd $2 million earners at Primerica, the great Jim and Trish Brome. So proud of them. I can tell you, those leaders, they found the money in Find Your Money April. They made it happen because remember, we're helping clients find the money, but we want to help you find the money in your Primerica business. You've got to follow their example. You see, as you sit and listen to the rest of this program today, you need to be asking, what about me? When is it going to be your moment? When are you going to get the watch? When are you going to get the ring, add a diamond, get a promotion? See, this is all about you. That's the question that you need to answer. And next up, to begin giving us the information to add to that inspiration is our great president, Peter Schneider. Let's hear a special message from Peter.
Thanks, Glenn, and welcome everybody on a Saturday. I love talking to our RVPs, but it's also really special for me to have the opportunity to say a few words to our entire sales force and everyone who's watching can learn important messages that I'm going to share today. And let's start with the first one, which is about our mortgage business. First of all, we do it in 38 states. So if you're in one of those states, you can do the mortgage business. And it's a business that's been expanding. So if you take a look, our April is up 27% over March, huge growth. But more importantly, we compared 2025 to 2026, and we're up 19% April to April from 25 to 26. We have the largest pipeline we've had in 4 years, and it's the biggest purchase pipeline, meaning folks who are buying new homes, that we've ever had. We have the biggest sales force who are mortgage licensed. And I'm sharing all this with you to say, you can be part of this too. And it's very important to be part of it because it not only helps clients, but it helps you diversify and broaden your business. It's also a way to go to Broadmoor. So let's go to that. So we have 12 slots, mortgage slots at the Broadmoor, 10 in the United States, 2 in Canada, and you can track where you are on POL. Now, the way you go is you become a member of the President's Club, very attainable. We've had more and more folks become a member of President's Club, and you can see this online, learn how to do that. And once you're a member of the President's Club, you compete for those slots on builder production points, as you ordinarily do for all contest slots. So this is a great opportunity to go to the Broadmoor, and it's the fastest ticket in town, in my opinion. But the main thing is, it's not just winning a trip, it's helping families. And we want to make it easy for you, because I know a lot of you watching are thinking, well, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with my knowledge level in mortgages. Well, you know, almost everyone who joined Primerica is new to financial services. And so we make available to you what you need to know. And there is this great series. It's Eugene Kapitsky is the one who's doing a great series, training series, a boot camp for you to learn what you need to know about the mortgage business. You can watch it on demand on POL, and it's fantastic. Netflix, I think, will probably pick it up someday. But right now, you should be the one to pick it up and learn more about the mortgage business. I mentioned we have a great business in Canada too. It's a little different in Canada. In Canada, that's a referral business, but we also have a different compensation system in Canada, and a really exciting one. So in Canada, not only do you get a commission for your referral, but you also can qualify for a bonus. And there are 2 different ways to do that. If you are personal and do 2 personal closed loans, you'll qualify for a $300 bonus. If you're an RVP watching this and you're running a base shop, and your base shop does $2 million in closed volume, well, you'll get this. You'll get an iPad. By the way, you can also, if an RVP, obviously, as a writing agent, qualify for the bonus. And all that is on top of our regular compensation, which for an average loan exceeds $800. So there's fantastic compensation in Canada. Now, we want to make sure we get the word out about our mortgage business. And so please, Primerica Social, go there because you're going to find mortgage posts. Here's 2 examples, one in the US, one in Canada. Mortgage rates are dropping in the US. And then in Canada, breaking news that the Bank of Canada is lowering rates. So this kind of information, by the way, rates do tick up and down. So don't worry that, yesterday it ticked up a little bit. Rates change, but when rates are dropped, you want to just create interest that rates are lower than they used to be like a year or 2 ago. That's the point. And you'll generate interest, and regardless of where rates are, whether they go up and down, they're always going to be lower than credit card debt, which is we have the ability to do our debt consolidation loans. Okay, let me go from mortgages to a kind of operational compliance, very important information you need to know about relative to Zoom. Zoom has become an amazing partner, Primerica. We're doing so much together. We're designing things. I'm going to be talking a lot about Zoom in the future because Zoom isn't just the video that you've been using. It's a lot more than that. And so we're setting up Zoom to be a great communications partner for us. But in order to do that, we need to make sure that the domains out there are linked to Primerica.com. But that means we've got to do some changes. So just follow me on this one. If you have a personal Zoom account, meaning you pay for it, it's not what we call PEZ, Primerica Enterprise Zoom, which is a corporate Zoom account. If you have a personal Zoom account, then, and you're using a personal email address, you're good. No problem, that's your account, that's your personal email. But if you have a personal account and you're using Primerica.com as your email address, then you've got to change that. You need to change that to your personal email address. And the reason is because Primerica.com is part of our domain. By the way, if you're one of those, and these are mainly securities producers, have a corporate Zoom account and a Primerica.com address, that's fine. The only thing I want you to focus on for these purposes in this call is if you have a personal email account and are using Primerica.com as your email address. Now, what's going to happen? On May 5, a switch is going to get flipped, and you're going to get prompted to change to a personal email address from your Primerica.com address. That's what's going to happen. And you see these screens right here. It's going to say change email address. Now, you may notice there's a button that says skip. You can skip 3 times, but please don't skip. Go ahead and do this. Because on the 3rd time, if you haven't done this, then you're going to get kind of frozen out. You're just going to get that screen about changing your address. So that needs to happen. Make sure you pay attention to this. Now, if you have a corporate account with a Primerica.com address, that's fine, but the login information is going to change. You're going to use your POL login. You're very familiar with that, single sign-on, and that will get you up and running. This is mainly for our investment license representatives and our RVPs. Now, if you have any questions about this, we're here to help. Go to zoomhelp@primerica.com. You can send your questions there. Okay, enough about that. Great news, USA Today just came out with another award. We're getting so many awards as a business, and that reflects you and everything you do. But we just got an award for the best customer service in financial services. By the way, this started with 13,000 firms. They surveyed clients, all these firms' clients. Our clients talked about our customer service and how great it was, and we became one of the few folks who got this award. Congratulations to all of you. I want to go to the Financial Security Monitor. I talk about it every quarter, just had it come out. This is where we track our middle-income households and the sentiment in those households about how do they feel about their finances. Very important information. It also sets up discussions we have with the media. The key takeaways from this last one is, 1, middle-income Americans are reprioritizing spending as cost pressures persist. And 2nd, tax refunds are coming, but what are those tax refunds being used for? They're mainly being used for everyday expenses. Folks aren't putting that away. You know, there continues to be pressure in the households, and what we do relieves that pressure. Okay, let me go to my last topic, which is it's now live. It's an automated lead generation system we have via social media. You got to learn about this because this is going to transform your business, and it's just 4 easy steps. So here's how it works. Number 1, you have a social post which you grab, I'll show you later, from POL, from the lead generation area. You send out that social post to your friend group. That post itself generates interest because it has a goodie attached. Like, you know, track your spending, find the money in your budget. There's something that they've been offered from that social post. They then go to that post and they click a link, and that link links them to Primerica and to your CRM account. And so Once that happens, they're one of your contacts in CRM, and RMC, the Rep Marketing Center, can then send a campaign to them. All that happens because they've clicked your link and they get this goodie and fill out a form, and boom, 4 easy steps. They're into the CRM system, and you now can execute RMC campaigns and be in touch with them. So this is a way to take a social media post and generate a lead from it, and not only a lead, but to have that lead continue to receive communications from you in your name through our CRM system. It's a wonderful thing. Now you can learn more about it on POL. It's available to you on a new lead generation hub right there on POL. And we know it is working. So we've started in a pilot. Folks who have been in the pilot have been getting leads. And you see here from Senior Vice President Harvey Grahalis, one of my good friends, here's what he said. The reps that figure this out are going to have an advantage. This is how you scale beyond your warm market. By the way, it's also in your warm market. But the idea is you're going to use social to create lead generation. It's something that you should plug into, learn about, because it could change your business. That's what I have today. Back to you, Glenn.
Thanks so much, Peter. That's great information and great leadership. Thank you to you for your personal leadership, but also the great team of leaders that you have at the home office and the impact they have for the field force and the support they provide. Always appreciate that. So far today, we've looked back at April and talked about how April has set the perfect stage for the future. Just think about it, 35,000 recruits, new teammates in the month of April, the most precious resource we could possibly have. We need to treat every single one of them as precious, because those recruits now need to be plugged into the field training bonus process so that they can get field trained, they can get licensed, and they can get promoted. That's where we are at the end of that month. But now we look forward, and we look forward to what we're calling Triple Play May. It's, I believe, going to be the biggest month we've had in decades at Primerica, because all the stars are lined up for great things to happen. Let me tell you why it is. I believe in May we're going to have a frenzy of activity. The reason for that is, first of all, the where's the money approach is still in play, and it's causing activity to absolutely explode. Talk more about that in a minute. But number two is we have 2 leadership events closing this month. We're closing out the Broadmoor, one of my favorite destinations ever, as well as the Securities Builders Incentive Leadership Event at the Del Coronado, which will probably become one of the great destinations of Primerica. Those 2 are closing out. If you're anywhere in range, you need to be fighting like crazy to close those contests strong, those events strong, and enjoy a celebration with us at those 2 great events. But to make it a triple play, today we're announcing a 3rd leadership event, a brand new competition that starts in the month of May. But I want you to know as we announce it that this one is different. And you need to think about it differently. If you're an RVP, a leader thinking about moving your business, you need to be thinking about using this event differently. If you're out there and you say, I want to compete to go to one of these great events, you need to be thinking about how you compete differently. Let me tell you why it's different. First of all, this trip is going to take place in 2027. It's going to be the first event of its size in our 50th anniversary year. Yes, we're going to celebrate on the actual day in February. We're going to celebrate at the senior leadership meeting. But when we get together at this event, at this destination, it's going to be the first gigantic celebration of 50 years of success at Primerica. You don't want to miss that. Number 2 is, because it's in our 50th year, this event is a lot bigger than anything we've done in a long, long time. This is going to be a gigantic competition with more slots, more opportunities to win than anything we've done. That means it's more winnable. That means if you've come close or you've said, I don't think I can make it, so I'm not going to try, you got to set all that stinking thinking aside, and you got to fight like crazy to be part of this event. Right now, we're going to go to a video that's going to announce the destination for this next event. Then we're going to come back to the great Julie Seman. She's going to tell us how big it really is.
Some invitations you can't just accept. You have to earn them. Right now, it's your chance to qualify for the trip of a lifetime to the stunning Baha Mar Resort in the Bahamas. Join us as we escape to paradise, where Primerica's elite come together and crystal blue waters meet world-class luxury. Spend the day at the on-site Wildlife Conservatory, where you can meet a majestic green sea turtle or do yoga with flamingos. Take out a complimentary kayak to see the Bahamas' most beautiful shoreline, or simply relax with a cold drink by the pool. If thrills are more your style, take the plunge at the resort's water park with state-of-the-art attractions like the surf or the dueling Riptide coaster, a true up-and-down water coaster. If you're feeling competitive, grab a friend and play a round of golf at the Royal Blue, the #1 ranked golf course in the Bahamas. Don't forget to celebrate your victory and indulge in one or both of the 2 spectacular on-site spas. And when the sun goes down, taste an exquisitely prepared dinner at one of the resort's delicious restaurants. Dance the night away inside Bond nightclub, or get lost in the music at Oscar, Grammy, and Emmy-winning musical legend Jon Petit's first ever jazz club. Imagine walking across the stage at one of the most beautiful locations on the planet. This is your golden opportunity to earn a seat at the table, to learn from top leaders, sharing the knowledge you need to take your business to the next level. This is your chance. Get on the qualifiers list and escape to paradise.
Teammates, it is Triple Play May, and we are headed to Baha Mar. Listen, this is a bigger trip, like Glenn said, than anything we have done in a very long time, because it is part of Primerica's historic 50th anniversary celebration. This is not just another incentive trip, team, because it happens during our 50th anniversary year. That makes it a once-in-a-career moment to celebrate legacy, success, and the future of Primerica with the people that are building the next chapter. Missing it means missing history, and I know you don't want to do that. I can also promise you that this is the largest international trip our leadership has ever taken. You will want to be a part of this prestigious celebration with epic-sized events, able to tell people for a lifetime that you were on the biggest stage, part of the biggest celebration at Baha Mar, for the biggest reward that we have ever delivered as a company. Trips like this, I think, become status symbols. Winning tells the world that you performed at an elite level, that you were determined, you were focused, and you won. And then, of course, there's Baha Mar, which in itself is world-class luxury. But in addition, it's beautiful beaches, like you just saw in that video, upscale dining, pools, nightlife, golf, casinos, which all means unforgettable experiences. This is the kind of destination that people dream about and that you can win. Better yet, you can win it with your teammates. In our 50th anniversary year, we are inviting you to earn paradise, celebrate success together with your partner, and be part of company history, making memories that will last forever. Teammates, I want to make sure you've got the dates on your calendar for this epic trip. So put 1,500 slots, I'm telling you, today 1,500 slots. Biggest trip, biggest international trip ever. But put these dates on your calendar. Phase 1 is going to be March 1st through the 4th. Phase 2, March 4th through the 7th. Of course, all the qualifications are on POL. We are headed to Nassau, Bahamas. Check out the photographs on this page. I know you just saw that video, but here's some more of those really luxurious hotel rooms. They all have a view of the ocean. You see the golf there. There's pickleball courts as well. I feel like there could be a pickleball tournament or two going on while we're there. The spa is absolutely spectacular. Last time we were there, I had a masseuse that got knots out that like left me sore for a week, but it was that good kind of sore, right? So teammates, I'm telling you, you could experience every ounce of Baha Mar, but maybe my most favorite is the water park, all right? So it's like 15 acres. The water slides, there's some I had never seen before. There's actually one there where you like stand in a tube and you're on a platform, and then they drop the platform out from underneath of you and it shoots you straight down this tube, right? One of the most frightening water slides I've ever been on, but man, was it a whole lot of fun. And then there's this other slide where you can it's like a dueling slide. So you can challenge somebody and race down these slides together. The last time we were there, you might have heard Glenn and I had a little bit of a competition. We got there, we thought we were just gonna compete against one another, but we got there and we realized it's actually two people on a float, right? So he recruited Kurt Nethersall in Canada, and I recruited Adam Wydell. And so anyway, Kurt, as Glenn would say, was in the back of the float eating chicken wings and drinking beer, and Adam Wydell, the muscle man that he is, was like pushing us down the slide. So needless to say, you know who won, right? So listen, there is so much fun to be had. You see our leadership team here within these photos. I mean, and that's really what this is all about. It's an incredible environment. We're going to be celebrating our historic 50th anniversary, but you're going to do it with the people who have laid the groundwork, that it can help increase your vision, help you build on the business that took you to Baha Mar, but can take you well into the next 50 years of Primerica's success so that you too build a legacy. So teammates, the Builders Production Point formula has not changed. It's exactly the formula that you know well. I want to remind you within that formula is the qualified play. When you qualify at your level, you earn those 75,000 additional Builders Production Points. Those are important. Listen, those who can do that each and every month, you're gonna be in this contest for the life of it, right? And then you can play up to the next level, earning another 75,000 Builders Production Points. All of the details are on POL. Check out the blue bag. Of course, we've got some print pieces coming with some more materials that you'll want to see. But this trip is for real, teammates. There are more slots than ever before, and the clock has started. Now it's just simply up to you. Others are going to talk about paradise. I want you to go earn it. So it is Triple Play May. We've said it now a few times because there are 3 trips, right? Glenn said Broadmoor is one of his favorites. It would be mine too. The luxury at the Broadmoor, it compares with Baha Mar. And I'll tell you what you can do all over Colorado Springs, on property, off property. It is just spectacular. So this is the final month of the Broadmoor. This is the month to get it done, teammates. And there are 2 ways for you to win. Of course, the main body of the contest, as well as the sprint slots. Make sure you're checking out the standings. Listen, if you're on target, it doesn't mean you're a shoo-in. There's a lot of people on that bubble coming right after you. Anybody can still earn their way to the Broadmoor. And then we have a leadership event solely dedicated to our securities business and our securities producers. Teammates, we are headed to Hotel del Coronado on Coronado Island, which is a spectacular resort. To think we've got 3 trips like this running at the same time, I'll tell you what, there's no better place to be than in Primerica. And of course, the securities trip has a sprint competition within the leadership event. So there's 50 slots, again, 2 ways for you to win. But let's talk about the month of May, because we've got some incentives for each and every one of you this month. We got these 3 great trips we're talking about. Well, how do you earn your way to those trips? Well, it all starts with building the foundation. So how do you start? Where do you start? What do you do to build the foundation? Well, you recruit. And so this month, when you have at least 1 recruit in the month of May, you're going to earn your Where's the Money t-shirt. And I just want to remind you, Where's the Money is all about the conversation. It's to build momentum. It's to introduce yourself to somebody new who needs to know what to do with their money. When you ask them, where's the money? You can then help them find the money in their household and build their financial plan. And teammates, to help you build that team, it starts with 1 recruit, but then from 1 recruit, it grows to 2, to 3, to 4, right? And then before you know it, you're double-digit recruiting, and that's a team. To help you build that team, really, and help you set goals along the way, we've got this cool bucket list bottle this month, too. So let's talk a little bit about that. Now, you see see how you can earn that right here in front of you. One recruit by 1,000 of life premium, or one recruit by 10,000 in securities volume for reps and senior reps. You can earn that bottle. District leaders and above, 3 by 3 or 3 by 30,000. RVPs, you can earn it two ways. Your base shop, 10 by 10 or 10 by 100,000, or personally, 3 recruits by 3,000 or 3 recruits by 30,000. But what is a bucket list water bottle? You see it on the right-hand side there. Well, it's a cool water bottle with our Best in the West logo on it, but then all those decals come with it. So you can set goals for yourself. There are Primerica-specific recruiting and building decals. When you set that goal, you can add that decal to your bottle. And then there are specific Broadmoor decals and Colorado Springs decals. So if you want the workout of a lifetime, there's this thing there called the Manitou Incline, right? And it is straight up the hill. And if you can accomplish that task, you can pull that Manitou Incline label right off of this sheet of decals and put it right on your water bottle. See, listen, I don't know what motivates you, but I know keeping it in front of myself reminds me of what I need to do to achieve that success. We hope that bucket list water bottle will do exactly that for you as you strive for success in your Primerica business and to join us in Colorado Springs at the Broadmoor. And then this month, teammates, I want to talk to you about the field training bonus, because we've got 2 opportunities for our new recruits to earn credits. And the reason why these opportunities are so important is to help them earn early success in our business, as well as their uplines, because these field training bonus credits are all about their uplines, offering them a reward, holding them accountable, creating activity, right? So when our new recruits log into the Primerica app, when your new recruits log into the Primerica app within 24 hours after completing their IBA, they're going to bank a $50 credit. But that's not the only credit they can bank, because when they go ahead and complete pre-licensing within the first 30 days of that IBA, they're going to bank another $50 credit. Now I want to talk to the leadership that's on this Zoom today. Teammates, Circle of Champions, this is the last month. You can earn double credit in May. Last month to qualify. I want to encourage you to maximize that. It really is the pinnacle of Primerica recognition. And then for the future, our next 150 top future RVPs in Primerica. You can earn that jersey walking across the Broadmoor stage. This is the last month for you to qualify for that as well. All right, teammates, I want to remind us all of our goals, right? Our goals are 200,000 life licensed representatives and 50,000 securities licensed representatives, because teammates, our focus at Primerica is buy term and invest. That's how we build our business, change our own financial futures, and change the financial futures of our clients. And so those licenses are uber important to your success. And so we want to help you keep licenses as well as add new licenses to your team. So let's talk a second about keeping those licenses. We've got a new RVP license and renewal report for both the US and Canada. You see the click path right there on POL. You just go to My POL, monitor my team, and you'll see it, license and renewal report, brand spanking new. So it's available now for life and annuities and client solutions. Coming soon is securities and mortgage, of course, representing continuing education and the renewal reporting. But what you'll find on that report is you'll be able to view all of your base shop reps and sort by their license type. You're going to clearly see their expiration date. You'll have the rep contact info so that you can reach out to them, because you'll understand the status within the process of renewing those licenses. They're color-coded for sense of urgency. As I said, you can sort and you can filter. You can easily identify where they're located and the next steps that they need to take. So I'd encourage you to go out there and check that out. Reach out to your licensing directors as well. They can walk you through that report, and your field distribution directors. The teammates in Canada, they've got a series of licensing boot camps. You see the schedule there in front of you. In addition to it being right here, don't hesitate to click onto POL, scroll down to the bottom, the event section, and you'll see all of those dates and times and locations. All right, let's talk a little bit about our life insurance business, because I'll tell you, we delivered, bar none, the best term life insurance product with NextGen a couple of years ago. I want to share with you some of the successes, including some of the recent successes of Next Gen. There are more clients now today qualifying for standard class placement. There has been, that equals a 29% reduction in rated policies, right? So those rates are better. 40% more clients are qualifying for upgrades, and 30% more are qualifying for acceleration. We just keep improving the product. And then a couple of the entities that we work with, Exam One now does an online interview in Spanish, incredible for that market. And there's a new feature on apps. They have a smart scheduler, which is super easy for you to use. But there is also a new training out there, and I want to make sure everybody goes out and watches this, because I'll tell you what, it drives home IUL and gives you the resource that you need, the learning that can accelerate your confidence in overcoming IUL and the competition. You're going to see our Life Wholesale team, the incredible Jake Marchesani, John Foppe, of course, Patty Perez, and they're going to talk to you about winning that IUL conversation. I want you to have the confidence to do that each and every time. Going out to POL On Demand, it's there under training and development. Let's talk a little bit about our investments business, because teammates, we've got some new tools out there that are available for you to use or coming soon. So let's run through 3 of them. A new portfolio analytics tool, which helps you to build hypos, is available. We've also got a new portfolio construction tool. So Morningstar has sunset themselves their portfolio solutions, and we have replaced that with a better tool, Expiro. So that updated tool is available there for you to use now. And then we have a new streamlined securities eStar rep process, and that's debuting on May 8th. It's going to help you with quicker submissions, and obviously anything we can do faster is always better, right? So be sure to check all that out on POL. All right, let me change gears a little bit and talk to you about technology and digital distribution. We have rolled out a new feature within CRM called Opportunities. And Opportunities is really a key way for you to track input and track your sales pipeline. So you always know, as an RVP, as a representative, what you have in your base shop or within your business at any point in time and what point it's at in the process. So you see in front of you here several categories. Those categories are called stages, right? And so what we have put here is the industry standard stages for a CRM. So this is the default, but it is completely customizable based on your business philosophy and the sales process that you implement in your organization. But you see there discovery, qualification, appointment, proposal, application pending. You can merely drag and drop to move each of those contacts into a different stage. Those stages in those contacts, what's represented in there is the type of lead that it is, the source you got it from. You can input, this was a warm referral, this was something you got on social media, so you have at a glance exactly who and where the person came from. And then you could put a target close date on there, the probability to close, but those dates help you with prioritization. This really is about prioritization. It is to help you organize the work that you're doing in a fashion that every day you could click into CRM and it serves up to you where you are with those prospects and clients so that you easily know what to do next. Teammates, that was very brief. It doesn't take much to learn, but it certainly does take interaction with the tool. And if you want help learning more about it, I'd encourage you to reach out to your field distribution directors or plug into CRM training on Wednesdays. All right, while I'm talking about CRM, I'm going to transition over to RMC, because RMC is really a fantastic tool to help you build your business and your brand. And it's based out of CRM and all those contacts that you have in there. Of course, you get a calendar each and every month. May's calendar has already been emailed to you. I want to highlight some of the new content that you can enable and send out to your client base or your prospects. We've got the Life Stages campaign, which is specifically for prospects or clients between ages 40 and 54. So you might be thinking, well, how in the world will I ever determine that? You don't have to. We do that for you. If you enable that campaign, we go through your book of business, identify the clients within that age range, and send it to them on your behalf once you enable it. Then we have May, a small business month here in the U.S., National Military Appreciation Month, and 529 Day, which this one will be available on May 12th. So those are all campaigns in the month of May. And then there are holiday campaigns this month as as well. The Mother's Day campaign, Victoria Day in Canada, and National Patriots Day in Quebec. I'd encourage you to go out to Rep Marketing Center, check out all of the categories and see what is most meaningful to you, what represents you and your business. Trigger some of those campaigns to be sent to your prospects and clients. All right, teammates, now let me talk to you about a new opportunity within the new rep experience for new recruits to build their digital brand. It's really, it is a simple way. We've had a ton of tools that they can utilize, but this is a simple way where they're all located in one place as a new financial services representative in Primerica that they can execute on getting the word out, right? So what they'll find in this Build Your Business section is an easy way for them to set up their rep website, create their Rep Marketing Center landing pages. They can also deliver auto and home referrals digitally through this tool. CRM, you can add contacts through a quick add button right there, which means they're building their warm market referral list. It means you're going to work with them to set more kitchen table appointments. They can start RMC campaigns that are very specific to being a new recruit, which means they're sending out a campaign that introduces themselves as a Primerica representative and the transition into financial services, as well as the narrowing of social media posts that is very specific to a new recruit who just got into our business. So I'd encourage you, that launches on May 5th. I would encourage you to check that out. Again, if you need a resource to learn more about that, you can certainly talk with your field distribution directors. Before I go, I've got a little bit of housekeeping. We've got some mainframe system maintenance coming up, so we want to get well ahead of this so everybody knows. So the date is Saturday, May 23rd. I said we're well ahead of it, right? That's Memorial Day weekend, so it's a holiday weekend, and it's in the middle of the night. We're trying not to be disruptive, too disruptive with the business. So the downtime window is at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time and 10 a.m. So it's a 7.5-hour window, which is why we're getting way ahead of this, so that you know. And then it'll be back up and running. You see right there at 10 a.m. So what does it affect? Well, it's a system-wide impact. So that means it affects all those field-facing systems as well as My Primerica. So you see them there. POL, My Primerica, the Primerica app. On the next page, it shares with you really the communication, because I want you to know, once you have confidence in, we're trying not only to get out ahead of it today on RVP Locker Room, but you're going to hear this repeatedly through the month of May leading up to it. So we're going to share the notifications through RVP email. There'll be a POL pop-up as well as text going out. There will also be an IVR message updated during the window. So if somebody clicks in during that time, and the splash pages on all those tools. So when clients go to My Primerica, they'll get a maintenance message there as well. So both our representatives and our clients want to make you well aware. We're going to remind you through the month, and while it goes on, you'll have a full notification of what's happening and when we'll be back up and running. And then a couple of reminders, teammates. So CLC 2026, we've been talking about that. The dates are September 17th through the 20th. There is a ton of competition going on right now and recognition. You see that listed there. The standings are now on the POL homepage, so I'd encourage you to go out there and check that out. And then before I leave you, I want to remind you, on Monday, just 2 days away, we have Primerica Live, and it's going to be an incredible show. At noon Eastern time, you're going to hear from SNSD Tom Safford and NSD Ron Weber. The show is focused on buy term and invest the difference. Teammates, I don't know about you, but I'll tell you what, May has me jacked up, right? I think, gosh, what a business we have. What an opportunity we have together to change the world. I don't know about you, Glenn, but I don't think there's anybody out there who has it better than us. Back to you.
Hey, Julie, thanks so much for that. You do an amazing job of communicating all that information in a way that gets us excited. I'm just blown away by the simplicity and sophistication of our business. Julie, you're right. There's nobody that has it like Primerica. To have a business support system that can take an old football coach and teacher like me and give me an opportunity at this great company, what an unbelievable system we have. And I don't know if I heard a challenge for a rematch at Baha Mar. We're going to have to talk about that a little bit, but that Baha Mar event is going to be our greatest ever. You know, I want to take a few minutes and close with you. This is RVP Locker Room, and if you've ever been in a locker room, room, you know, that's where the team huddles, usually at halftime. And you assess where you are and you call the plays for the second half. You make the adjustments that you need to make. And so I want to start with a little bit of coaching and a reminder to everybody out there, regardless of how long you've been at Primerica, your title, you could be an RVP and above or a future RVP, or even your style of doing business. Maybe you focus on building, you focus on life insurance, you focus on investments. Doesn't matter. It all starts with activity. It all starts with activity. And the greatest activity generator that I've ever seen at Primerica is the where's the money prospecting approach. You know, you might have thought that was just something that was going to be a blip on the radar for a little while, but folks, this is another game changer. This is something that can generate the level of activity you need. And it starts with just 2 or 3 simple questions that you can ask that have almost zero chance of rejection. You see, most people won't get out in the marketplace because they're afraid they're going to get rejected. Somebody's going to tell them no. There's almost no chance of rejection using the where's the money approach. And there's almost 100% chance, as Julie mentioned, of starting a conversation. And that conversation can lead to the things that are the most important results in our business, an F&A, a life sale, probably replacing an IUL policy. It can lead to an investment sale, a mortgage, a client solution sale. Well, our client solutions products are so important in this process, particularly auto and home. And ultimately, it can lead to an IBA. It can lead to a new recruit who wants to help other people find their money. It's such an important approach. And we've asked people to share their success with us. You know, there's almost 500 success stories posted out there on POL right now. And you got to remember that not just posting a success story we can learn from and recognize you, but that also triggers the opportunity for you to be selected to join us at that favorite destination of mine and Julie's, the Broadmoor. You know, already we've selected 6 great success stories and the leaders who submitted them to join them. You can see them on the screen right now. And I'm so proud of these 6 leaders because they ran the play. We called the play and they ran the play perfectly. And we're going to celebrate together at the Broadmoor. But I'm announcing today that in the month of May, we're going to select 2 more success stories. Those that submit success stories can join us at the Broadmoor. It doesn't matter whether you've already submitted it or you submitted it in May, but people ask me all the time, Glenn, how can I get on the inside track? How can I increase my odds? And it's at the bottom of that slide you just had up there. I'm going to give you a tip on how to increase your odds. Gain the advantage by submitting a team success story. Tell us how your team has exploded your number of appointments, exploded your F&As, your recruits, your life business. I want to see the impact of the where's the money approach, not just on one leader, but on an entire team, a base shop. Maybe it can be a district-based shop, division, or it doesn't matter how big or how little. Maybe it's a whole hierarchy. But folks, we want to see how this can generate activity because underestimating the activity is the biggest mistake people make. Now, if you've heard about it, but you don't know exactly what it is, you can learn all about the Where's the Money system in one place out on POL. You can see the success stories. I'd encourage you to read them, but you can also find all the materials you need to implement Where's the Money and create a massive, almost chaotic frenzy of activity, because that's the ingredient most people underestimate. And so today, if I'm coaching you in the locker room, I would tell you to start Triple Play May with an explosion of activity. But listen, activity on itself is not enough. The activity has got to have a revolutionary business model to funnel that activity into. Julie said it. We're so unique at Primerica. We're so blessed at Primerica. And today I want to make sure that 100% of the Primerica team, yes, our RVPs and above, but also our future RVPs understand just how blessed we are. You see, our business model is unmatched in the marketplace. There is no other company in our industry or in any other industry that can do what we do. And I just want to give you a couple of reasons today. There's probably 1,000. I wish I could spend all afternoon with you. But I just want to share this with you and make sure you understand it because it's important for what we need to do in the month of May. At Primerica, we have 2 major lines of business. I love all those imitators that say, we're going to sell out and sell one product, IUL. They're going to get killed. I'm telling you, you can't succeed selling one product long term because at some point the conditions are going to turn against you. But we've got 2 major product lines, life insurance and investments, and they're counter-cyclical. That means that the economics in the world, the socioeconomics, the demographics, everything that impacts our business impacts those 2 lines of business differently. And when one's up, the other one might not be up. But when one's down, the other one's up. okay? And when the other one's down, the other one's up. And it's an amazing combination, a complementary business model. And then, of course, if we go back and look at that slide, we've got other lines of business that fill the gaps. That's our mortgage business. That's our auto and home referral. That's Primerica Legal Protection. All those other businesses that we have fill in the gaps to smooth out the process. But the third bullet is the most important. Building distribution fuels the entire model. That's really what sets us apart. Anybody else could copy the first two bullets. What they can't copy is our ability to build distribution. It's the difference maker. Now, a lot of people say, Glenn, look at our investment business. It's absolutely exploding. Why is our investment business exploding today? It's exploding today because we built distribution that is now distributing investments 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or even 30 or 40 years ago. And if we had not done that, we would not be succeeding today in the investment business. Everything at Primerica is driven by building distribution. And so what we need there at the bottom is to understand, the bottom of that slide is the most important, in the footer. At Primerica, field leaders will succeed year after year. You see, we smooth out the rough spots. That's what our business model does. And so I want to explain that to you because I love to be a student of our business. I've encouraged you to be a student of this business and understand how this business is different. But let me give you some examples just in the last 3 years, okay? In 2023, our recruiting, licensing, and life insurance business were up, but our investment business was down in 2023. But field cash was up, okay? Then in 2024, recruiting, licensing, and life insurance business was up again, and the investment business was up, and our field cash was up and set a new record. We set a record in 23 in field cash. We set a record in 24 in field cash. In 2025, recruiting, licensing, life insurance were down, and investments was up, but field cash was up a third year in a row and set another new record. That's the way this business works. That's what countercyclical means. Now, I looked at the company all the way back to the year of our IPO in 2010, 16 years ago. In that 16 years, there's never been a year when life insurance and investments were down at the same time. There have been a bunch of years when they were up at the same time. And there's been a bunch of years when life was up and investments was down, or investments was up and life was down. But there's never been a year when both life and investments were down at the same time. That's our business model. But it's driven by distribution. The model is designed to smooth out the ups and downs for the short term. But listen, we're not in this business for the short term. We're in this business for the long term. And that means that growth in every area is required for sustained success. Yes, we can smooth out the bumps on the short term, but if we're going to win year after year after year for decades to come, we need to focus on growth on every single area. Let's talk about how to take advantage of the moment, because you see, the great news is we had 35,000 recruits in the month of April. That's the beginning of the next surge. That's the beginning of us moving our entire business forward in an incredible way. That'll also drive life production through field training. We are positioned perfectly as we head into the month of May. But since this is a leadership Zoom, I believe we need a leadership game plan. And I'm treating all of you as leaders today, so here's the plan. Here's what we need today. We need leaders with an extreme sense of urgency to grow in every area. Do not accept growth in some areas to cover up lack of growth in other areas. Won't work. Look, it works short term. That's exactly how our model is designed. Doesn't work long term. Here's what we need from every leader that's listening to my voice today. First is you need to cast a vision of growth. You need to be talking about growth. If you're not talking about growth, your team is not going to grow. I can tell you that. It starts with a message from the leader. Voice activate. A vision of growth. Number two is you've got to create the expectation of growth. There is no excuse. It's not acceptable to have lack of growth. You've got to look at your business and say, if we're not growing, we're going to take action on our team to grow in recruiting, life licensing, securities licensing, life business, investment business. You're going to grow across the board, and that's going to grow your income and get you a promotion. Number three is we need to recognize growth. You know, it's happening right now. I'm going to show you in just a minute. And we need every leader to become a personal example of growth. That's the play I'm calling today on this RVP Locker Room. Now, you know, I hear a lot of excuses. I hear a lot of people say, yeah, but Glenn, times are tough out there. Just turn on the news. It'll depress you so bad you'll be suicidal. Times are tough. Money's tight. There's nobody has any money. That tells me they're not using the where's the money approach, because when you use that, you find out there's a lot more money out there than you think. And then they say, Glenn, no one's growing. Now you expect me to grow, but ain't nobody. I can't find anybody that's growing. Well, let's put all those excuses to bed. You see, earlier this week, we had our monthly leadership Zoom, and I took the opportunity to recognize on that Zoom some of the leaders that were on that Zoom that are growing and defying all those excuses. Let's take a look at the first two who are growing in their base, and I don't mean a base of $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. I'm talking about a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 base shop. The great Chris H. year to date in the first 3 months of the year. By the way, this doesn't include the recruiting explosion in April. This was before the $49 IBA. Recruits up 4% in his base. Licensing up 700%. That's not a typo. Premium in his base up 22%. The great Salmon Lane Shepherd. Recruits up 9%. Wait till you see it with April. Probably up 99%. Licensing up 64%. Premium up 34%. You see, there are leaders that are growing in their base shops because they choose to make it a priority. Well, what about leaders growing through First? The great Jim and Kimberly Meyer through First, year to date, first 3 months of the year, recruits up 15%, licensing up 27%, premium up 25%. Frank and Maria Dillon, recruits up 21%, licensing up 10, premium up 4. You see, it doesn't matter how you measure it. There's no excuse because somebody's growing. Now look at the Whittles, okay? Defying all the odds. Look at their base numbers and their first numbers. Bill and Leslie, their base shop recruits up 16, but through First they're up 45. Licensing up 100%, but through First they're up 132% in life licensing. Premium up 26% in the base and 25% through First. See, there's not any of this shell game where we're moving it around. Last year it was in the base, this year it's through First, so you got to add it all together. Bull, okay? They're growing. They're growing. What about you? Let's look at growing multiple generations. The great Mario and Franny Arizona through Third up 17% in recruits, 32% in licensing. They're in California where nobody can get licensed except the people that Mario and Franny are getting licensed. Premium up 16. Tony and Shelly Lorraine up 26% in recruiting, 47% in licensing, 22% in premium. You see, folks, we got to stop making excuses. Yes, we've got an unbelievable tailwind in our investment business, but it's time for us to take control as leaders and grow in every area of our business. It's time to expect growth in every area, and Triple Play May is not a success unless you grow. You ought to hold yourself to that standard, that it's going to be, maybe you've grown every month this year, grow another month in May. Maybe you haven't grown in a year and a half. It's time for you to grow in May. Now, you might be sitting out there thinking, Glenn, you've done it again. You have worked yourself into a frenzy over this. Why are you so focused on this? I mean, look, you just told us we set a 12-month cash flow record for the company last month. Can't we just be happy with what's working and not focus on the other areas? No, that won't pay off a decade from now. And why I'm so geeked up right now is because we have the opportunity of a lifetime. An opportunity that's never existed in the history of Primerica ahead of us, and if we're not paying attention, we'll miss it. You see, just 432 days from today is the celebration of 50 years of success at Primerica. Yes, that's going to be the greatest event ever. It'll be the largest event ever, the most fun event ever, the most exciting event ever. Doesn't matter how you measure, it's going to be the best ever. It's not about the event. The value of that event is not about the 3 or 4 days we spend together. It's about the 12 months leading up to the event and the rest of our lifetimes after the event. You see, if we manage this well, the 12 months leading up to that convention should be the greatest 12 months in the history of our company, because it should create a surge of success going into that event as people fight to be recognized, fight to have momentum when we get there, fight to celebrate their own success at that event. That 12 months ought to be the greatest 12 months in our history if we're in position to take advantage of it. But you see, if we're not ready, if we're not moving when that 12 months starts, that 12-month run starts 60 days from now. If we're not ready, if we're not moving, if we're not in position, the one thing I learned playing years of defensive back in football, it doesn't matter how fast you are, your reaction time, how good you are. If you're out of position, you're beat no matter how bad the receiver and the quarterback on the other team is. If we're out of position 60 days from now, we could miss the opportunity of a lifetime at Primerica, and that's unacceptable to me. we could miss this opportunity. See, it's time right now for you to lead. Whether you're the most experienced, largest organization watching this show, or you just joined last night and it's only you. You're a leader and it's time for you to lead with an extreme sense of urgency to grow. There's not a minute to lose. You need to grow in every area of your business in Triple Play May, and you need to start right now.